Hello again, and welcome back to Scott Reviews Things. I don't know what I'm calling this video yet. It's my lunchtime, so I've got 40 minutes to kill. And it's something I've seen some comments on a video that I put out, and it's made me think. It's made me think. I'm a 49-year-old man that doesn't get to think very often, and it's made me think. So obviously, recently I've been talking about these guys quite a lot. Andy's Man Club. If you haven't seen the videos, Andy's Man Club, we as men are often told that we don't talk as much as we should do about our problems. So it's a sign of weakness if you open up. I'm just trying to find the comments. Open up and speak about your problems, etc, etc, etc. The old adage of man up. Fucking man up, mate. Just, it's all in your head. You should be, man up. And I was brought up by a naval man, and my mum, obviously, my mum brought us up because my dad was away quite a lot. But I was born in 1975, and I mean, my mum had two, we called them mental breakdowns then. I suppose it's just, I don't know if that's the correct term anymore. She had two quite bad breakdowns that I remember. My dad was involved in the Falklands War. His ship, the Plymouth, was hit by a torpedo. So, and I have no doubt when you look back on it, I think I've spoken about this before, that you look back on it, when I look back on it, that he 100% suffered with postnatal depression, and I do apologise, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, but never spoke about it. I lost both my parents to cancer within, I think it was about 3 years of each other. My mum was 59, I think my dad was 62, 63. He wasn't very old. The loss of my mum hit me quite hard. Then I went through a very horrible divorce. And then during my divorce, my son was alienated from me through lies, deceit, and just general nastiness. But I never really talked about these things. When I met Wanda, stay in my hair, I was a hobo. Wanda, for years, said you need to speak to somebody, and I always refused. I was always against sort of professional help, talking to somebody. I just thought, well, how's a good person that hasn't been through what I've been through going to tell me how I should feel? So when I found Andy's Man Club, I started going, and obviously you pluck the courage up to walk through the door for the first time. And I've got a great deal out of it. So I've put three videos out. About Andy's Man Club. The first one was about going for the first time. The second one was about the fact I haven't seen my son for 4 years. And then this week was a more positive one, because ultimately going to Andy's Man Club is a positive experience, and that's what it should be. We're all there to talk and sort of discuss things and share an ear, if you like, for someone that's not your wife or your partner, your significant other. But someone commented on one of the videos. It got me thinking. It did. It got me thinking. And it's from James Neal. So James, hope you're keeping well. You've prompted me to turn my camera on my phone and speak about the comments that you've made, because I think they're quite interesting. So on he's put, the first comment was, it used to be called The Pub, and we could go and talk to our mates and drink cheap beer and everyone was happy. So it made me think about the state the state of the pub trade, and has that contributed or helped contribute to men's mental health? And I thought that's quite an interesting subject to think about, because you go to the pub, have a few beers with your mates, have a natter, go home to the wife, and then, well, maybe the wife will come with you. Obviously, the pub as the hub of all local goings on, that's largely disappeared. Well, there's more going every week, let's be honest now, isn't it? I mean, it's the trade and the costs that these people have to endure, the taxation on alcohol, the restrictions put on them by breweries, the overheads they have to keep. Obviously, Wetherspoons undercut at every available in every available way. So the death of the back street pub it's been well documented by better people than I'll ever be, and has been spoke about by better people than me. But has it contributed to an even worse mental health society? And I don't know about that. I mean, when I used to go to the pub with my mates Lee and Gary, we never spoke about our problems. I mean, that wasn't the be all and end all of going to the pub. The be all and end all of going to the pub was have a few beers. You probably maybe before football or after football, or just on a Friday night or something, you'd have a few beers. You talk about the football, you talk about boxing, what's going on at work, etc., etc., etc. What was going on in the news? Never really. I'd never have dreamt to sat there, I don't think, and said, poured my heart out. Oh well, my fucking mum's died. I'm feeling a bit sad about that. My marriage is in. I mean, I started going to the pub more when my marriage broke down, because most of my mates were all married, so it gave me a release to go to the pub, and that was Wetherspoons because it was cheaper. So I wasn't supporting local business really. I was just sort of going to the pub to get out. And then I'm reacquainted with an old friend of mine who knew I was going through problems. So, but that wasn't the be all and end all of going to the pub. And Lee also says no such thing as, and I put no such thing as a cheap pint anymore. He put no such things as pubs anymore. And everyone is off work with depression. It's no coincidence. I don't think that the lack of pubs has necessarily contributed to people being off with depression. But I guess society's changed as well. Society's changed a lot in probably the last 5-10 years, where everybody's offended by something now. Everybody takes exception to things. You've got to be careful what you say. I got told at work a little while ago, I had a blowout at my manager and someone else, and I got told that I had to be careful because someone could be walking past the office and hear what I've said and report me. I'm like, they're not even involved in the fucking conversation. How does that work? Oh yeah, but is that the society we live in now? You've got to be worried about someone walking past that's not even involved in the conversation you're having, but they can then report you. I mean, that's just mad to me. But the dying pub trade, and obviously we all know you will have all had a favourite pub at a certain point that you used to like going to, whether you played darts, pool, bar billiards, or just went for a pint and you met up and you had a few beers and then you went off home. How many of you can say that that's still there? Because most of them are like a Tesco's now, or a Co-op, or they've been demolished in their flats. I mean, Portsmouth, where I live, there was hundreds of pubs, and slowly but surely they're dwindling. And has it contributed to worse mental health in men? I don't know the answer to that, but it is a good question. And he's put no pubs, everyone's on their phones, bring back the days when we used to get paid, go out, and socialise. Which brings the question, modern life's rubbish, innit? Modern life, even if you do go into a pub, everyone's on their fucking phone. You got couples just sat across from each other, and I can be the worst for that. I'm not going to sit and say I'm particularly good at leaving my phone behind. Check it, you know. Your whole life's on your phone these days, and you see people, couples, probably on first dates, just sat there messaging. I think social media definitely has a huge part in the deterioration in people's mental health. I would absolutely hate to be at school now. I left school in 1991. None of this shit existed back then, and I would absolutely hate to be in school now, where if you're having a tough time at school with bullying or anything like that, at least when you went home, largely you could lock your door and get away from that. Now you've got all of these social media apps where people can just continue the barrage of hate and just general nastiness. So I would not, and obviously you've got teachers know that you can't have any discipline in schools anymore. I mean, the amount of times I had a board rubber thrown at us, or just detention, the slipper, the ruler, and I'm not saying any of these things are right for the modern world, but teachers can't reprimand now. The students and the kids at school know that. The police have not helped their own cause, and the children aren't. This has gone on a slightly different tangent than I was expecting it to be. But the police and the kids know that they're not afraid of the police. I mean, you saw a policeman in our day, and if he was going to have a word with you, you'd fucking run. Shit scared. Or tell your parents, fuck it, don't tell my parents, mate. No need for that. Now I don't fucking care. I don't care. Society is a broken mess, isn't it? You know. But men's mental health, did going to the pub, did that help men's mental health? I used to like going to the pub. I'll be completely honest now. I don't really go to pubs anymore. I've become a beer snob, don't you know? We frequent tap rooms and craft beer establishments now. I go with Wanda. And what I like about these places is generally, it's going to sound really fucking horrible. Generally, they've got the ones we go to, it is like a pub because it's got a nice community spirit. Most people know each other. Weatherspoons have become, in certain places, I'm not saying all of them by any stretch of the imagination, have become hives and hovels. But the beer is cheap. But then there's nothing for Wanda to drink anymore, so that's why we don't go in there. I mean, I'm not slating Weatherspoons. Me and Wanda met there, so I'd be very hypocritical to sit and say that they haven't got a place in the world. They have, along with some of the bigger breweries, contributed to the decline and the almost eradication of backstreet boozers. There's no two ways about that. Some of their aggressive business practices have not helped the backstreet boozer. But these comments by James, they've got me thinking a little bit about modern society. Has the death of the backstreet pub helped in the decline? Because he's right, you used to go to the pub and speak and have a chat, but did you ever speak about your problems? And I'm not sure you did. I know I never did. Yeah, it's an odd one. I don't disagree. The comment about phones, I completely get. Everyone, yeah, I mean, you got the fucking zombies walking up and down the road. It's like that, aren't they? Watching something on fucking YouTube. Hopefully it's me. on YouTube, or tapping away, or just doing anything but concentrating on what they should actually be doing. Modern life's rubbish. But then, was the 80s any better? Or the 90s? Or the noughties? Or the, I don't know, is it called the 10s? I don't fucking know. Are they any better? Or they were, or are we all living in like sepia, or the 70s? Or the 60s, whenever you grew up? Or do we live in like a swooshy sepia nostalgia that didn't actually exist? I made a comment on the Andy's Man Club video the other day about if you could relive anything over again that made you happy, what would it be? And I was like, Christmas in the 80s. Huge Star Wars fan. I loved Christmas in the 80s. Getting my Millennium Falcon for the first time. All the Star Wars figures from, it was either Hasbro or Kenner. I can't remember which one it was. The A-Team stuff. What else did I get in the just a Spectrum. Plus 2, 128k plus 2, the Rubik's Cube, just all sorts. But or is it nostalgia filled nonsense? Were the 80s really that good? And the fact that now there's so much media now that almost poisons the world. I've never done a video like this. It's quite interesting, to be fair. All sparked by someone's comment. But has men's mental health, not just men's, I suppose, has mental health suffered in general because of these things? I think it's easier now to say I'm struggling, whereas before it was almost frowned upon. I don't know, it's interesting. It's an interesting subject. Just the ramblings and thoughts of a slightly still overweight, almost 50-year-old hobo looking human that's yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's an interesting thing. And how what part does technology and modern day play in it? Is modern life rubbish? Did it used to be better? Leave your comments below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let's subscribe. See you soon.